So, welcome to Grumpy Vegan Grandad. My name's Dan. It's a pleasure to have you all here. So, in the community tab, I put out a little call asking people to give me any ideas on what they want me to talk about, anything they want me to say, or any questions. And I've got a few replies there, which I'm going to tackle over the coming days. But my first one is by Vegan King, who at the moment is living in India, and they have asked me to react to Sadhguru, who is a yogi.
I'm so smart it hurts!
You're standing on the soldering iron.
Or it's not! Ooh, hot, 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 hot! Ooh.
No, I don't think it means that kind of yogi, actually. Not a yogi bird. What's the matter, boo-boo? I know David Rams has done a reaction to this. Quite a few people have done a reaction to this. So I've had a look at Sadhguru to see what he's all about. And yes, he seems to be a very knowledgeable guy. He's very wise. He has certain views on things. Culturally, maybe a little bit different from Western views, but he's got an English degree, I think. He got it in the West, I'm not sure. And he's got a massive following. A massive following. So he is a big influence on people. On a lot of people. A lot of people follow him for his yoga expertise. And I was looking online. There's our yogi. And he does inner engineering. So you can enroll on this. And when my computer starts to bring you up, it's 47 quid. Offered at 50% for challenging times until December. So he's basically transform your life with Sadhguru, yogi, mystic and a visionary. New York Times best-selling author, named amongst the 50 most influential people in India. Recipient of presidential awards for exceptional service, environmental and social initiatives. I'm not sure about the environmental side of it. Not sure about that, and that will become clear later. So, yes, so basically, Vegan King has asked me to react to this video. It's a question about dairy. And should we drink dairy? So let's get into it. Let's have a look.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. My question is about milk. Milk is coming from the cows, which is a very torturous way.
How old are you?
Right. Is age relevant here? Is the person's age relevant? Is interrupted her? But why is he asking her age, I wonder?
I'm 32.
Oh, too late for milk drinking.
Yeah, so, yeah, I get that. So it is too late for milk drinking. Milk drinking will be too late the minute you have stopped weaning. The minute you've stopped weaning as a baby, you're too old to drink milk. So he's hit the nail on the head there, so can't see nothing wrong with this.
Sadhguru, I didn't understand.
Then you can drink milk.
Is that a laugh or is that a fake laugh? What the hell? So he's made a little bit of a joke about it because she does not understand what he's saying. He's telling us to drink milk. A bit weird.
It's okay.
So the cows are getting tortured just to get the milk from them, and it's about their reproductive system, and we are dependent on the milk which should be given to the her children, and this has been happening since.
So if you can't hear or don't understand the accent, what she's saying is that it's very torturous for the cows. That milk that they're taking away, it's cruel because it should be given to her children, to her calves.
Ages, and also in the yogic system and in the temples, the milk is getting used for diyas and also for the linga. So I'm not sure how good it is. Sometimes I feel very bad about it.
I don't know where you saw diyas burning with milk. Anyway.
Made from the ghee.
Yeah,
Ghee is
all right.
made from the milk.
So…
Yeah, alright. Shut up. Sadhguru.
Guru.
So, it's better to slaughter them, not torture them, right?
Well, it's better to leave them the way they want to
Oh,
live.
that will not happen. The only other option is slaughter them.
So the only other option from milking them is to slaughter them. That's what will happen. Well, no, she's right. We could just leave them alone. But again, what happens in India? You see, what a lot of people don't realise is that once these cows are useless to the industry, they're just left to roam and basically starve. When you see these cows roaming the streets, it's not some sort of cute thing that happens in India. It's the fact that they don't produce enough milk anymore to be profitable. So the owners just basically kick them out into the street to starve to death. That's what happens. Some of them get sold, because I think the cow is sacred in certain states in India, not in the whole of India. Some get sold to the leather industry, some get sold to slaughterhouses.
So we think it's better to milk them rather than slaughter them. We think it's better to put them to work than to slaughter them. This is my understanding of cruelty. If your understanding of cruelty is milking the cow is very cruel, so we will kill the cow and eat it up, that's exactly what will happen. Whatever your intentions are, that is exactly what will happen.
So what is he saying here? If they're not put to work or they're not used for milk, they will get murdered and the flesh used to feed humans. That's the only choice. How about not breeding them into existence in the first place? How about eradicating the dairy industry altogether? So what he's saying is, it's better we give them a life of torture, because the only other alternative is for them to be murdered. Great options. Great options. But even if that is true, what would you rather face as a human? Would you rather face a lifetime of torture and misery and enslavement and rape? Or would you rather just get it over and done with? I'm sure if this was happening in a human context, the suicide rate would go like that. I think humans would rather be dead than face a lifetime of torture.
Yes or no? That's all that'll happen. So if you think that is more humane, just to slaughter them and eat them up, that's not my understanding of cruelty. My understanding…
Do you know something? Rather than give a cow a lifetime of torture, yeah, I think it is more humane to murder them, to kill them for meat, yeah? We have a thing, it isn't legal in the UK, but it's legal, you can go over to Switzerland. When you're suffering, when people have got diseases that are eating away at them and ruining the quality of life, and there's no option only to get worse and worse and worse and suffer till you die. These people can go over to Switzerland and get euthanized. They drink a liquid and they fall gently asleep and die. People choose that option rather than suffer. So yeah, that is the most humane.
Understanding of cruelty and compassion is, first thing is right to life. There is cruelty everywhere. You were sent to school, it's a bloody cruel place.
What kind of schools have they got in India? We ask ourselves. Schools ain't a cruel place. Schools are the way out. Schools are a way out of poverty. If you go to school and learn, what are you talking about?
Yes, it's very cruel on a child. But can you leave the children on the street and say, don't go to school? We have to put them through that cruelty because otherwise they will go and kill each other on the street. Yes?
Oh, so in India, if you don't get an education, you go around killing each other on the street? Or does it mean you end up in gangs, end up in criminality? Maybe you do. Maybe you do.
So many negative things will happen in their life. They will become… poverty will take over, crime will take over, other kinds of things will take over. So it's better put them through 12–15 years of cruelty to avoid a lifelong suffering. Yes or no? We know.
Hold on a minute. You send a kid to school, right? Okay, let's say these Indian schools are really cruel. You send a kid to school for, what is it, about 9 years? Right, 9 years of education, cruel education. Do they come out and then get sent to a slaughterhouse and murdered? Do they get sent to a slaughterhouse the minute they leave school? Or do they get shoved onto the streets to starve? Get disease or get hurt? No. So the comparison is way off there. Sadhguru.
Guru.
Certain things are cruel, but we still do it because the alternative is worse. First and foremost thing for every life is right to life. After that, whether it should be milked or not, whether it should be worked or not, I'm sure the next thing is the bulls are drawing the cart. Some people are coming, activists are coming and saying, they're doing very cruel, these bulls are being treated very cruel, they're drawing the cart. Flat ground, put ball bearings, easy, brakes and everything so that it's not very hard on him, but he needs to work.
Right, I'm a bit split on this. Because India is a split nation of very poor and very rich. I think there's in-betweens as well, middle classes. So, I suppose when you're poor and the only transport you can get is putting a poor bull to work, maybe that's the only choice you've got, I don't know. Is it more expensive to feed and keep a bull? But he's saying oh, it's flat ground, good ball bearings, brakes. Well, yeah, an empty cart, fine. But is that what they use them for? No. From what I've seen in India, they pile as much on there as possible because they need to transport as many goods as possible to make a profit. I've seen images of bulls and ox and whatever being lifted up in the air, donkeys being lifted up in the air with the sheer weight that they put on these carts.
If he doesn't work, we will just keep him and you will feed him? Such a thing won't work. So we will leave him. Where will he go? Straight to the slaughterhouse. Straight. Because they want him to go quick before he loses his muscle. That's what will happen to him. We want him to live, that's why we're making him work. If it's a male, we make him work that way. If it's a female, we milk her. It's good. Otherwise, you will not give them any chance to live. Anything that's not useful to human societies, have we allowed them to live? Are we in that kind of condition? Are you in that state of compassion that things which are not useful to you, every day you will feed it with your money and keep it alive? Are you in that state of compassion, I'm asking you? If you were like that, fantastic, I would bow down at your feet, okay? If you were like that.
Bit of sarcasm going on here. Would you feed the bull? Would you feed the cow rather than send them to the slaughterhouse for the rest of their life and all this? And I mean, put it in a human context. What about your grandparents? What about small children? You can't make them work. You've got to feed them. You've got to show compassion to them. They're not earning you money. They're not working for you. Send them to the slaughterhouse. That would help. I would bow down to you if you fed your family until they die naturally. Fucking hell.
You are not like that, I know. I know you're not like that. I know who I'm dealing with. So this kind of rubbish keeps coming up, this misplaced compassion without knowing the realities of how the world works. Somebody is complaining about this. If the dogs are tied up, they said, cruelty to the dogs, and suddenly they would write blogs about us. Okay, if I let them loose, this happened. But this happened in Bangalore, one case happened, in Madurai or someplace another happened. Packs of dogs, they attacked school-going children and ate them up. Because dog is a carnivorous animal. If they are there in packs, they will get their instinct.
So why the fuck are you breeding them into existence? Why are you all buying dogs then? It is cruel. It is cruel to keep dogs. Especially tying them up. We shouldn't be keeping dogs. We shouldn't be keeping animals. Why would you want a dog if you're poor anyway, you know? Ridiculous. Sadhguru.
Guru.
Back. Only when they're separate individual, they don't have that sense. But if 10-15 of them are together and roaming around, when they see a child below 4 feet of height, they will go for him. So, school-going children were attacked and eaten up. Now what do? Now municipality comes and just culls all of them. Isn't it better that they're tied? Hello? We leave them when nobody is there. When people are there, we tie them up or put them in a box. Otherwise, the only way is to cull them. You will say, we put him to sleep. Generally, people say, we put him to sleep. No, you just killed him. Hello? You just killed him and you want to satisfy yourself, I put him to sleep, send him to heaven, whatever nonsense. Why don't we send you also? This may sound cruel and absurd, but I want you to know this. Every other life values its life as much as you value yours. Even an ant doesn't…
So, if every life values its life, why would you enslave them, rape them, take away the children, steal the milk, and then when they can't do any more, send them to slaughter or just kick them out onto the streets to die a painful, horrible starvation death?
doesn't want to die. Yes or no? You think an ant is wanting to die because it's a small life? No, even an ant sees its life is as precious as yours. So if you don't milk the cow, it will go straight to the slaughterhouse.
No, you're talking… Just don't breed them into existence. It's simple. Stop it. That is not the only two options. Don't milk them. Don't send them to slaughter. Just don't fucking breed them into existence. Let them fucking free. Jesus. Sadhguru.
That's where it's
Guru.
going. That's where they're all going. Those who don't have milk, those who don't have the ability to work, that's where they're going. So,
yeah, his argument is, if we don't milk them, use them, abuse them, rape them, steal the children, then the only other option is to kill them. And he's a guy who's preaching spirituality, peace, compassion. And he even said in his own video, every animal has the need to live, has the want to live, wants a life, doesn't want to die. Let's see what happens to male calves in India. From what I've read, a lot of them are surreptitiously murdered. Of course they do. There's poor people out there, they can't afford to do stuff. They get the male calves, they sell them to other village members or other people to pull carts and for transport or to plough fields. But a lot of the time they will just kill them and bury them or burn them or eat them. That's what happens to the male calf, a lot of male calves in India. But here's another little video I found of what happens to some of the poor male calves in India.
Hello everyone, we are here in Bangalore Gaushala. What you're seeing right now is all the male calves dumped by dairy industry to the Gaushala, and they are trying to take care of them. And I have talked to the manager and they have confirmed that.
So they have these sort of, all I can describe them as are sanctuaries. He said they were called something, I'll find out what it is after, but there's these little sanctuaries where they try and look after them. But when you look at the statistics of like 50% of the calves born will be male, surely they can't cope. Because that's the thing. India produces 22% of the total world output. 22%. 186 million tons of milk. The global production is 843 million tons. Astounding. Absolutely astounding. India's biggest milk producing states, according to 2017 and 18 data from the National Dairy Development Board, are Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat. The industry is both an economic engine and a source of livelihood. Earlier this year, India's Agriculture Minister said that around 80 million rural households are engaged in milk production, with a high proportion comprising landless, small and marginal farmers. The Minister, Grandad Singh, also added that the country's milk production has grown by 6.4% annually in the last 4 years, well above the global growth rate of 1.7%. Dairy exports are also seen as a huge untapped opportunity for India, which currently accounts for only 0.1% of the world's dairy export market. So they're actually not tapped into that, but 80 million rural households rely on it. Wow. Wow. Officials claim that the average annual milk production per cow has increased 35% in the last 10 years to 1,700 kilograms in 2018 and 19, and there are efforts to improve this even further. However, the Niti Aayog, in a report last year, must be a paper or something, warned that drought and floods could hit the productivity of milk animals by affecting the availability of fodder and water. Encroachment of pastoral land by agriculture crops also shrinks the available grazing options. The overall productivity of the dairy sector is low because of inadequate nutrition from green fodder, along with dry residue and protein concentrate. 500 million animals in India were currently deprived of feed and fodder security. So there's 500 million animals starving in India. Wow. Let's have a look at this video.
Yeah, these are all dumped by dairy industry. So these are here because we want their mother's milk. So they are not able to get their mother's milk because we who don't need their mother's milk is trying to have it. So we are becoming the reason for their hunger. We are becoming the reason for their loneliness. See how they are calling for their mother. You can see this guy, he's constantly calling the mother. He doesn't know his mother has been kept by dairy industry to be milked, to be sold for humans. So we all can change this. All it takes is to change what we buy. All it takes is to change our choices. We might say this doesn't happen here and there, but then this is the reality you're seeing. So many of these male calves, they are all here for only one reason. The reason is dairy industry. Reason is we want their mother's milk. Reason is we want something which is not even required for us. And these will be born over and over again for the milk industry, because whenever cow will deliver babies, then only the milk is gonna come. So yeah, I request all of you to make the right choices, to choose plant-based milk instead of animal milk, to save that.
So yeah, this is for the Bengaluru Brigade for Animal Liberation. Big up to you guys. Male calves are useless for the dairy industry. They're often abandoned on streets, mostly. Few are sold for veal meat, and few get to live until they are slaughtered for flesh. We all may have seen abandoned calves on the streets bellowing for their mothers, hungry and clueless. This is such common scenes across the city because of the overwhelming demand for dairy. Vegan activists visit a local Goshala, that's where they keep them, where a few of those male calves are rescued from the industry. Well, big up to you guys. Well done. Well done. But in the meantime, Mr. Sadhguru is saying that carry on doing it. It's fine, because the only other alternative is to take them to slaughterhouse and kill them. Totally wrong. Let's have a look at some of the comments. I think what she's asking, should we stop the cruelty by stopping demand? Yeah. I guess not everything he says is wise. Kindness and compassion exclude slavery and killing, as we can live healthy without causing harm to others. Why don't we? Correct. Good God, does he not know that they melt them dry and sell them for slaughter? I mean, what the... Yeah, so... I'm sorry, Mr. Sadhguru. You are a wise man. You do say some really good stuff. You are helping on other sides of things, helping people's mental health maybe, but your views on dairy are prehistoric, dated, wrong, disgusting. I'm really sorry. So, I mean, of course, there's major problems with poverty in India, but 80 million small, maybe family-run dairies, they've got a couple of cows each. 80 million. It's a major problem. But is it profitable for these little farms to do this? Do these animals not need a lot more feed than what could be fed to the humans over there? Is there that much profit in it? Could these people live better lives if these 80 million small holdings grew vegetables, crops, grains? I mean, India is 22% of the global milk production. It's not going to change too soon, is it? It's not going to change too soon. And I think poverty is a big driver of it. But again, I cannot understand how raising such a large animal for a relatively small amount of protein in the milk, or whatever nourishment you can get from milk, surely it'd be more productive to produce food for the humans rather than a secretion, a liquid, and all the problems that go along with it. I mean, India's a big producer of leather as well. It's just got out of control, hasn't it, basically? In India, it's just got out of control. It's culturally embedded. But the main thing is this Mr. Sadhguru is a big influence over there, and he's basically promoting it. He's promoting it because he's alright, he's making money. He's making 42 British pound for every time somebody from wherever in the world subscribes to his inner mechanics. I mean, good luck to him if he's helping people, good luck to him, but shouldn't he be concentrating on his own people, on his own country, and the problems there? Shouldn't he realise that milk is not going to sustain people? That people are starving over there? The cruelty to the cows and to the calves and to the bulls. India is a fairly rich country. India has a nuclear program. I'm sure India has a space program as well. It's just the bad government, bad distribution of wealth. The rich are rich and the poor are poorer. There's many, many problems in India. And this is just one of them. Let's have a quick look at what else he says in another video. So this is Sadhguru saying, don't be identified as a vegan or vegetarian. So why, we ask? Why?
That is the kind of food you eat. Don't make food into a philosophy or a religion. Food is about the body. It must go through the system with minimum amount of resistance. For example, because the question is about vegetarian or non-vegetarian, how we look at the food is, if you eat any food, what is happening is the food has to become a part of your system, it has to be integrated to become you. If the food that you consume has a very complex sense of memory and information, then our body's ability to break it and make it a part of ourselves is reduced. If you eat a simple memory code or the genetic code in a particular creature, let's say you eat a vegetable, it is very simple. Or in other words, in the evolutionary scale, whatever is furthest away from you, that's what you must consume. Or in other words, you never consume a mammal because it is too close to you and its memory is too complex and you will never be able to break it down 100%. If you consume this, partly you break down the genetic code, another part of it remains. Or in other words, gradually the animal qualities will enter your system and unknowingly these things will find expression. People are going through anger, stress, just simply rage everywhere. This is simply because of the one main reason is the food that they're consuming. So, whatever is the
Okay, so… so… if you eat meat, because he's vegetarian, so he doesn't eat meat, but he obviously he eats dairy, the genetic code becomes part of you and it can make you… So, if you're eating dairy then, you're eating torture and rape and violence. Surely. Surely. So come on, Sadhguru, sort it out. I mean, we have got virus DNA as part of our own DNA. It has become part of our DNA, that's fact. But when we eat food, we digest it, use the nutrients, extract the nutrients, and then we shit out the rest. We don't become our food. There's no memories in the food. Don't eat meat, obviously, but if you do, there's no memories in the food. I don't know where it's coming from.
simplest memory code, that is what you must consume so that easily you can break it down and make it a part of yourself. Or whatever is furthest away from you in the evolutionary scale, that's the best thing. So in that context, if you must eat non-vegetarian food, the fish is the best thing to eat because it is the first form of life on this planet.
Well, no, bacteria was the first form of life on this planet. Bacteria. But now he's promoting fish. Now he's promoting eating fish. With all the problems that go with fishing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So fish aren't sentient, are they not? They're furthest away from us genetically. We came from the oceans. Oh man, so he's promoting… not only is he promoting the cruelty of dairy, he's also promoting the cruelty of killing sentient marine animals now.
As it gets more complex, as you come towards mammals, it's becoming very complex and that's not suitable for human consumption. We can show various parameters in the body, the length of the alimentary canal, how things happen in the system. If you look at all this, clearly the body is stating what it wants. When it comes to food, you should not ask your doctor, a guru or a nutritionist, no, you must ask your body. You eat something
Oh, he said something I agree with. No, you don't ask a fucking guru. You don't ask a doctor. Yes, you do listen to yourself, but maybe you should listen to the scientists who tell you what happens when you eat certain things with your body. Science. Certainly not a guru. Sadhguru.
and see how quickly the food moves out of your stomach back into the intestine. If it's happening very quickly, within 2.5 hours, if everything is gone, that's good food to eat. If it's lingering on between 4 to 6 hours, that's not good thing to eat.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Sadhguru, wise old man, got life experience behind his belt, big influence, massive in India. He's not that clever, especially when it comes to food and nutrition and ethics and peace and harmony. He's not all that. He's got a way to go. He needs to be educated. Sadhguru, when it comes to dairy, when it comes to food, when it comes to eating animals, fish, whatever, the whole concept of using and abusing animals, you're not all that. You're not all that. So there you have it, folks. He's not that wise. He's not that wise. So don't listen to him. Go with your instincts. Eating animals is wrong. Using animals' secretions is wrong. Stealing eggs is wrong. Save the animals, save the planet, and save yourself. Go vegan. And don't listen to Sadhguru, for fuck's sake.
Sadhguru.